I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about a few things. I don't ever plan to make a ranting video. I don't feel like that's what YouTube really should be for. There's a lot of people that I absolutely adore that are on YouTube that do rant. Okay, don't get me wrong about that. My thing is, though, is that when you do stuff like that, you're sending a lot of negative energy out into the universe. Okay? So I'm going to try to keep this from being an actual ranting video. If I do start to rant a little bit, I apologize. But that's not what I'm here for. I am here to help you and to teach you whatever I can. Okay, so there are a lot of videos, a lot of videos about where to get started when you first start down a pagan path. So for that reason, I don't think that I will ever make one on where to start. I may actually change my mind at the end of the day, but at this very moment, I don't think that I'm going to be doing that, simply because of all the information that's on the internet and in books and everything else right now. I would probably just be repeating the same thing that somebody else has already said and you've already heard 100 times. But I want to talk to you about reasons you shouldn't decide to start down this path. I will open my arms to anybody that is wanting to get started. However, I was on Facebook either today, I think it was earlier today that I looked it up, but I first saw it a few days ago. It was an article from about.com. Normally, I don't use anything from about.com or Wikipedia simply due to the fact that a lot of people, anybody can go on there and change whatever they want to. You know, I could say that Madonna used to be a man and change her birthday and everything on Wikipedia or about, and, you know, everybody that reads it will think it's true. It's ridiculous, and it's very unscholarly, and it's just something that you shouldn't use if you're wanting actual information. But I found an article that was on another page that was from about.com, and they were really good. It was a really good list of the top 10 reasons why you shouldn't become a pagan. So I'm just going to go ahead and start on the first one. The number one is I want to cast spells on people. It's a horrible reason, people. Horrible. Horrible. First off, I was taught that you never do a spell on anybody, period. You know, unless it's like a healing or something like that, and you're supposed to get their permission for it. That's what I was taught. If you know, you think different, by all means. But like love spells and stuff, you know, you don't do those on specific people. Do one to attract somebody. Do one to attract somebody, not a particular person to you. It's a really bad reason to want to become a pagan. Pagan, Wiccan, witch, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I don't have much to say on that except, you know, it's a horrible reason, and you should never do a spell for anybody unless you ask their permission first, because, you know, it could go against their religion. You know, they could get highly upset if they find out about it later. You know, and I guess that brings me to the second one, since we're talking about religion now. What am I talking about? I'm always talking about religion. I was raised Christian. Now I hate church. That's number two. Some of the stuff that I'm going to say, I believe was in the article as well. But you should not become a pagan just because you want to piss your parents off. Okay, this is for all you 16-year-olds that are going through all these hormonal changes and everything, and your parents are getting on your nerves, so, oh, I'm going to become a witch to piss them off, and I'm going to cast spells on them. No, absolutely not. It's horrible. You know, there's a lot of stuff that could happen, a lot of repercussions you could get from that. You know, there's stuff on here that I want to talk about this later, but I was a dabbler myself when I first got started. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have anybody to help me. Excuse me. But there are a lot of people who think that they'll just do it, cast some spells, do some seances, play with a Ouija board, piss their parents off, and, you know, everything will be fine and dandy. It doesn't work like that, people. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. If you're not going to do it for the right reasons and have respect for your parents, I don't care how bad they're pissing you off. They're the only parents you're going to have. Don't do it for that reason. Do it for yourself, because Spirit has moved through you and told you that this is the right path for you. Period. Okay. I believe I'm starting to rant, so I apologize for that. Number 3. I want to conjure up spirits. They're cool. Okay. I know I've known a lot of people that wanted to do something like this. You know, I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start using Ouija boards and doing seances because it's so cool. I want to be able to talk to spirits. You know, well, they're awesome. Yeah, they are cool. You know, I've always been into the paranormal and the supernatural my entire life. But don't become a pagan just so that you can try to conjure up the forces of darkness. You know, it's going to be bad. You know, there was a friend of mine that, I meant to write it down what she said. She said, you can't sit on your back porch and sip tea with Kali because she'll rip you apart. You know, you may not get ripped apart physically right now, but spiritually and mentally, you're going to get fucked up. And, you know, later on, it could be physical. You know, you could start having really bad physical things happen to you if you start messing with spirits and you don't know what you're doing. So, be careful. I'm completely serious. Be careful, people. Because I didn't know what I was doing when I started out either. And I was very, very lucky that something bad didn't happen to me. I didn't mention the name of the person that said that because I didn't actually ask if I could say that. When I talk to them later on, I'll ask them if it's okay for me to post a link to like their channel and stuff. But I doubt that'll happen. So, alright, I'm going to move on. Number 4. This one cracks me up. I'm a 17th-generation hereditary Wiccan. No, you're not. Fuck off. That's something that gets me more than anything. You know, it's not hereditary. Your mom might have been, and you might be. Okay? And your grandmother might have been. But, no. Wicca didn't even start until the 1950s when Gerald Gardner created it from like old texts and rituals and stuff from all over the place. Wicca is a very new religion, and it's not really even a religion in the first place. I mean, the government sees it as a religion, but it's really complicated, and I'm not going into all that right now. But there's no such thing as a hereditary witch, Wiccan, Pagan, whatever. It doesn't happen. I'm sorry. You can get pissed off all you want, and I may get some hate comments for those of you that watch this, but it doesn't happen, you know. Like I said, it just started in the 1950s, so that you can't be a 17th generation anyway. you know, way back in the day, there were excuse me, people that practiced magic in a way. You know, there were herbalists and different things like that would help heal and do different things like that, and shamans and stuff like that. But it's not Wicca. It's not Wiccan. You know, that's just one of the things that bothers me the most, is when somebody says that they're hereditary witch. I don't know why it bothers me so much. You know, I had people in my family that were herbalists and stuff back in the early 1900s and late 1800s. My great-grandmother and great-great-grandmother, you know, they did stuff like that. But they weren't witches. They weren't Wiccans. Nothing. And I just found out about this recently. So, I don't know. I love you guys. I'm sorry that I'm ranting. Number 5. Everyone knows pagans are really kinky and open-minded about sex. I really don't know what to say on this one. That's bullshit, for one. Some covens and stuff do ritual sexual acts. That didn't make much sense, but I think you know what I mean. But usually it's between two people that are already in a relationship, and they don't do it in front of the rest of the group. And they're usually completely monogamous. I don't know where people get that. Yes, there's a lot of open-mindedness from most people, you know, about homosexuals and being straight and being lesbian and all that. Yes, but they're still bigots in pagan groups as well. That don't like gay people. That don't like adultery. You know, different things like that. Ooh, biblical term. So, you know, don't get into it thinking that you're going to be fucking everybody that you come into contact with that practices too. Because you're dead wrong, believe me. I don't know. You know, I've not met a pagan that hasn't been okay with my sexuality. But I know that they're out there. I do know that. You know, and if you go around thinking that there's not going to be somebody like that, then you're wrong. You are dead wrong. And you're probably going to get your ass beat if you try something with somebody. You know, I'm warning you. It's all I can do. Number 6. I want to be part of a religion that lets me do what I want. Okay? Yes, most things can be altered in the religion to suit you, what you have, where you are, and things like that. But you can't go around doing whatever the hell you want to. It's ridiculous. There are still rules. They may be flexible rules, but there are still rules. You know, people think, you know, I don't mean to offend anybody when I say this, but I've heard a lot of Catholics say that, you know, they can do whatever they want to and then go repent for it on Sunday. You know, it doesn't work like that. Okay, sorry about that. My SD card was completely full, so I had to clear some shit up so I could get back to this. What we were talking about, number 6. I want to be part of a religion that lets me do what I want. And, you know, it doesn't work that way. I believe that my card becoming full may have been Spirit's way of telling me to calm the hell down, because I was ranting like I said I wouldn't at the beginning of the video. So I'm going to calm down a little bit for you. But you can't go around doing whatever you want to. There's going to be repercussions. Like I said early on in the video, you have to be very careful what you do. We were talking about number 3, which was conjuring up spirits because they're cool. But it's ridiculous. It really, really is. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to number 7. I don't want to hang too much more on this. Number 7. People are mean to me, and if I'm a witch, they'll be scared of me. That's probably not going to be true. Just because, and there's actually, you really shouldn't even let them know. I may have said this in an earlier video, but part of the witch's pyramid is to be silent, which, you know, doesn't mean to take a vow of silence or anything. It means that you need to shut the hell up and listen, you know. Part of the read is speak little, listen much. So, you know, going around telling people that you're a witch isn't necessarily even going to make them afraid of you. It may make them make fun of you even more, which is what you don't want. You know, that's something that we're really fighting for right now, is for people to open up their minds and to be able to accept, you know, all forms of paganism, no matter what it is. You know, I don't understand why people think that's going to make other people fear them. I was I had friends that knew when I was in high school, yeah, but they were really close friends that I knew were going to accept me for the things that I was doing, and I knew that if they didn't like it, then they could go fuck themselves, because they weren't real friends anyway. You know, but don't go around broadcasting it everywhere, like a billboard sign. You know, I don't understand why you would do that. You know, I don't know, people. It's probably going to make you get beat up more. It really is, because people are going to think you're a freak if they don't understand and they don't know what's going on. Because I mean, again, I don't want to offend anybody, because I'm very open-minded about religion, period. But Christians have, for some reason, think that it's okay, you know, to judge you for what you're doing and to do very cruel things to you, to make fun of you. I just got finished reading the book, Beautiful Creatures, and, you know, if you haven't read it, I very much recommend it. The movie was good, not as good as the book, like every other movie. But Lena was a caster. I consider her a witch. It was like a derogatory term for them, though, to be called a witch, whatever. But it was a small town in the Bible Belt in South Carolina, and, you know, it was all a bunch of Bible thumpers, and they wanted to throw her out of school and everything. You know, and there are teachers and principals and adults that will do that too. So be really, really cautious of what you're doing. You don't want to put too much fear into people, because it could backlash on you hardcore. You know, and trying to use Kali to do these things too could cause you a world of trouble. So be very cautious of what you're doing, and don't become a pagan, witch, Wiccan, whatever, in order to put fear into people, because that's what we're trying to get away from. Okay, number 8. All pagans are peaceful and loving. so I want to be one. Well, that's great. It's great you want to be peaceful and loving, but not all pagans are. I remember it was a long time ago. I watched the Tyra Banks show because Fiona Horn, who I loved at the time, was on there, and they had a set of witches that owned a store in California somewhere. It may have been Los Angeles. The name's kind of slipping my mind right now. I know it was two P's. But Firuza Balk is a co-owner. Okay, back again. The store is co-owned, or used to be. I don't know if it still is now, but used to be co-owned by Firuza Balk, who, if you've ever seen the movie The Craft, she was Nancy, the lead character, and she practices. She said she used to be believe that you live, you die, that's it. But she said that she had seen things that had completely changed that. She saw things that completely proved her wrong. And but I'm so sorry, I've gotten completely off topic. The women on the Tyra Banks show that I was talking about, they considered themselves black witches. They practiced dark magic. They you know, I believe in doing curses, but not to actually harm somebody. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I believe it's on the Charming Pixie Flora page. She has one about curses. She has a video about curses. But I believe that you can curse an object to find out about certain things, or a doorway, or to make sure that nobody's going to harm you, or trying to steal from you, or do anything negative to you, like psychic vampires and shit like that. But not every witch, Wiccan, Pagan is peaceful and loving. It's that's how the world works. You're gonna be highly disappointed if you think that you're gonna go to every single public ritual or anything and think that everybody's gonna be completely nice to you, because it just doesn't happen that way. I'm really sorry to tell you, well, like I said when I started the video, everybody's got one out there on, where to start, but I'm trying to make this to explain to you why not to start. Most are very loving and peaceful and want the best in the world, but there are those out there that want to hurt you. Pagan or not. Watch the news. There's very few good stories on there. Okay. Number 9. I have psychic powers. That makes me a witch. No. Everybody can develop. Anybody can develop their psychic awareness, their third eye. But that doesn't make you a witch. I don't know why somebody would even think that. That doesn't really make sense to me. But just because you can sense things, or you see spirits and you don't try to or anything, that doesn't make you a witch. It takes a lot of hard work to actually be pagan. It really does. If you think you're going to have it easy when you get started, you're going to be disappointed as hell. You can't just lay back and twitch your nose, which I can't do, and have dinner fixed. Just because you think, and some people even just think that they can do all these things. It takes practice most of the time. There are a few in the world that have them without having to practice. I don't know if that makes makes sense. I hope it does. But it's very rare. And if you encounter somebody that says that they are, and then they're a witch because they have psychic powers, slap them across the face. No, I'm kidding. Don't hit them. Don't hit them. I don't know what to say about people. I don't. That one just doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know why somebody would think that. Well, yeah, I guess I could, because of Hollywood, you know, which I guess that'll bring me to number 10. The number 10 reason not to become pagan. I want to be like the girls on Charmed. Okay. It's my favorite show of all time. Okay. That's why I have this. This is my DVD collection. It's got every episode, including the pilot, the original pilot that didn't have Alyssa Milano and all that. It's an amazing show. It is. I love it. I've sat and watched every episode straight through at least 6 or 7 times. When I guess I was in the 4th grade, something like that. I was in the 3rd or 4th when the show originally premiered, and that's when I started watching it. Okay. My entire life, I have had some sort of obsession with the moon. Don't know why, or didn't know why. Now I feel like it was spirit pulling me, telling me this is what I was meant to do, you know. But when the show first started, I had I started out. I guess that's when I first started dabbling. I guess I was. Let's see. I guess that would have made me about 10 or 11, something like that. Maybe younger than that. But I started there was this little thin book that my mom had that she had gotten with a cookbook or something. It was to write your own recipes down and stuff like that. Well, I started like drawing different demons in it and creating my own little potions and spells and stuff like that. It was make-believe for me. You know, I was pretending that I had all these awesome powers and that I was making these potions, and I was going in the backyard and fighting demons and everything else. But don't expect to become pagan and all of a sudden have these and get initiated or something, and then expect to be able to freeze time or to squint your eyes and throw your grandma across the room because she's pissing you off. No. Again, like I said, you are going to be disappointed as hell. Like I said, it's not that easy. It takes a lot of work. The girls on Charmed are badass as hell. You know, they are amazing. But that doesn't happen. So, don't decide to be a pagan because you want to do stuff like that. It doesn't work that way. I've apologized 100 times. I know I'm crushing some people's souls and wants and hopes by making this video and saying these things. But these are things you need to know, because if you decide that you want to be a pagan, if one of those 10 things is a reason that you're doing it, then you need to reevaluate your situation. And you need to come up with at least 10 good reasons why you want to be a pagan. And, you know, if you want to, jot those 10 things down and send them to me. I'll go over them and I will actually write you back and tell you about it. I may even make another video like this and go over why it's a bad idea instead of, just writing you back. So, I guess that's all that I have to say for right now. I'm going to go ahead and just read off these top 10 just real quick one more time. Number 1, I want to cast spells on people. Number 2, I was raised Christian, now I hate church. Number 3, I want to conjure up spirits, they're cool. Number 4, I'm a 17th-generation hereditary Wiccan. Number 5, everyone knows pagans are really kinky and open-minded about sex. Number 6, I want to be a part of a religion that lets me do what I want. Number 7, people are mean to me, and if I'm a witch, they'll be scared of me. Number 8, all pagans are peaceful and loving, so I want to be one. Number 9, I have psychic powers, that makes me a witch. Number 10, I want to be like the girls on Charmed. Okay, so that's all I have to say for now. If you liked this, like the video, subscribe, all that. Let me know what you want to see from me. I'm open to suggestions. I'm new to this, so I really need some feedback on how I'm doing. So leave me a comment, send me an email, all that. Like me on Facebook, Crescent Wolf Tarot Readings. And just all that jazz. I will put I will list the 10 things under the video, as well as put the link for about.com so that you can read the rest of the information under each one of them that's in the article. Alright, that's all I have to say for now. Love and light to you all, and I hope you all have a great day, week, month, year, life. Love you. Bye.
Ice is a star.